A Mississippi family is demanding answers after the death of their 18-year-old son. Nolan Wells took a boat trip with friends to an island off Mississippi on the 4th of July, but didn't make it back home. His body was found a few days later. Earlier today, his parents, their attorney, Ben Crump, and Reverend Al Sharpton had this message for the public.
He was one black with three young white men who happened to end up with his phone, happened to end up with his keys. This does not smell right.
This notion that, well, he drowned, y'all have, I'm sure, seen all the videos out there. I mean, if he's drowning, nobody sees him drown?
But I do want to say this. I would hope that any parent who, God forbid, would be in our situation, I would hope that you would do the same thing. I would hope that you would ask for any help, receive any help to get answers, because at the end of the day, that's all we want. We just want to know. We just want to know what happened and why our baby didn't come home.
Let's bring in CBS News correspondent Skylar Henry. Skylar, what else did we learn from that press conference? We saw Reverend Al Sharpton there. The family hired a civil rights attorney. Did they reveal why they believe this is not only a murder investigation, but a civil rights case?
Well, I think there's just so many questions that are outstanding, Liz, and that is the reason why they're putting so much attention on this case. Obviously, what happened to Nolan Wells was tragic, but what happened? They literally do not know, based off of what authorities have told us up until this point, at least what they said earlier this week, is that he told friends to leave him behind on Horn Island, which is about 10 miles off of Mississippi's Gulf Coast, to stay behind to meet with a girl. We do not know that to be true. We know that friends have specifically said that that is something that happened. But based off of what the timeline is from law enforcement, is that he was last seen at 3 p.m., told his friends to go back, and no one saw him ever again alive, so much so that his mother put out a missing persons report that evening. And officials all across the board, both land, sea, and in the air, spent a couple of days looking for him and found his body on Monday of this week. Now they're trying to figure out what happened. Where was the failure in communication? They say that his phone and keys were with friends who returned back to the mainland. Of course, he did not. His parents were on CBS Mornings, this morning, saying that they found that storyline to be odd. Why would he say that to his friends, but then leave his phone and keys behind? It just didn't add up, especially saying that this is a place that they visited time and time again. But he's also not the type to leave without the group. My colleague Anna Schechter had the opportunity to speak with Nolan's parents earlier today during that press conference. She asked about what they feel as if went wrong, and also if anyone has sent any information that has been helping in this investigation.
So you said that he stayed the night at a friend's. The first question is, did he stay with the friends that he went on the boat with?
Yes, he did.
And my second question is, has anyone come forward and provided you with other photographs or videos from Horn Island from July 4th that afternoon?
They're starting to send them to our office, and that's where Attorney Park was being so adamant about. Please continue to send whatever videos you got, whatever pictures you got, and we're very thankful that some young people have done that.
And I think it's important to point out here, Liz, too, that there are parallel investigations happening at the same time. We have one that is being led by the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, which is the agency that has taken on this case as of now. They say that they, too, are also asking for unedited videos and photos from that day at that time on Horn Island to help them connect the dots. But also we have this independent investigation also happening as well, being led by Attorney Crump, calling on anyone who has any information to send that their way as well, because there is some lack of transparency, at least according to the family and to Attorney Crump, that they feel as if is desperately needed right now so that they too can get to the bottom of exactly what's happening here. So much so that there is actually an independent autopsy that is ongoing as well in Washington, D.C. The family felt it important to send Nolan's body to Washington, D.C., away from the area where there are no ties there so that they can get a third party opinion in terms of what happened to him. We should point out an autopsy within the state of Mississippi has also concluded. The medical examiner says that full report, toxicology and the like, will take a couple of weeks to come back.
What about these friends that he allegedly was with on this island? Has anybody spoken to them?
Several of them have retained lawyers. Others have said that different perspectives in terms of what has happened. We know that the family was able to recover Nolan's cell phone from a friend, but only after a family friend went to the house to get not only his phone, but his keys. That is something that was revelatory in terms of new information that we learned from today. Many of the folks that we have spoken with call Nolan the type to bring communities together. He was beloved in that area, and is certainly not the type where people had any sort of issues with him. And so they find all of this strange, just the circumstances surrounding all of this. And then there is the conversation surrounding, the narrative of whether he told his friends to leave him behind so that he can meet with a girl. Well, we know that there is one young woman who has spoken with law enforcement, who has cooperated with them up until this point, following the leads there to see if there is any sort of guidance that could help figure out what happened to Nolan between July 4th and July 6th when his body was recovered. Still, though, a lot of unanswered questions right now. Law enforcement not exactly transparent with us either. We have made several attempts to try to reach out to them for additional comment to follow up on questions and allegations, quite frankly, that the Attorney Crump had put out there, but we've yet to hear back.
Skylar Henry, thank you so much for that update.
You bet.